What do you think the most impactful line of the song Silent Night is? I'm Chris Lanning, and we need Christmas. Now, of course, this is my opinion, but I think there is one line in Silent Night that has the most impact for all of us. Now, as I mentioned in a previous video, I gave you the history of Silent Night and talked about a young priest named Father Joseph Moore who had written this as a poem and eventually became a song. Go back and check out that video. But when we look at this first verse of what he's written, he starts out by saying, "Silent night, holy night, all is calm." He's painting this beautiful scene of a nice calm night. Then he adds in all is bright. So now we've got the light coming into the scene, right? Whether it's moonlight, starlight, however you want to picture it, there is now light on that scene. Then he brings in our players, round yon virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, talking about the Mother Mary and the baby Jesus. Now, we have gotten to what I think is the most impactful line here. All right, I see you're running ahead and thinking about it. I'm talking about the sleep in heavenly peace. And it was so good, he repeated it. Sleep in heavenly peace. So what is heavenly peace? In another video, we talked about peace on earth and how you look for peace in your life. That's one level of peace. But now we're talking heavenly peace. Well, if you're faith-based, you have your own ideas of heaven, and so you know anything that's heavenly is going to be well above what the normal adjective would be. And even if you're not faith-based, there's still often heavenly is used to modify adjectives to say well and above whatever that adjective is saying. So this is not an unusual concept. Clearly, heavenly peace means an unbelievable kind of peace. Well, this is something that we can use in our lives. If we get that scene in our head that works for us and reminds us of how close we could get to a heavenly peace, that is what we need when things get stressed out in life. So for me, I take it back to when I was going to Christmas Eve services at church growing up. So we would sing Silent Night. We would pass out candles and everybody be lighting their candles as we were singing it. After each verse, the ushers would turn off the lights. It would get darker and darker so that by the end we were totally in candlelight. And then the pastor would say, okay, let's do verse 1 again. And this time we did it without accompaniment, no piano nor organist, just all of our voices together in full harmony singing this beautiful song in candlelight. At the end of that, he would say, Christmas has come. To me, that was the pinnacle. That is the closest that I can even envision of finding a heavenly peace. Because I wasn't thinking about the outside world at that point. I wasn't thinking about what I was doing next. I was totally present in that moment and thinking back to that night when Christ the Savior was born. For me, that was the best scene that I could come up with for heavenly peace. But even if you're not Christian and, maybe you find other ways to look at that. For instance, think about a sleeping baby. Have you ever seen a sleeping newborn? I mean, one that's fully asleep. They have this peaceful look on their face, right? It's like they have no cares in the world because they don't know what they need to be afraid of. If you've just fed them, changed them, that's all well in the world and now they're sleeping. Could you imagine if we had that level of peace? Imagine going to bed tonight knowing that everything was taken care of. You didn't need to worry about anything. Now, if you could do that, wouldn't you sleep well too? So that is yet another way to model this heavenly peace. Keep this in mind as things get stressful in your life. Find the scene that works for you and go back to that, even for a short period of time, where you feel free and totally at peace. And that'll help bring some more, hopefully, balance and happiness in your life. But again, it's important that we all take that time once in a while, particularly when stressed out, to go to that, I guess some people call a happy place, but to go to that place of pure heavenly peace. And hey, if you think of it every time you hear the song Silent Night, that's a win too. Now, to see those other videos I mentioned, head on over to needchristmas.com. You can also find links to all of our social media. Stick with me. It's going to be a great series as we're going along here because people, we need Christmas.